Ponce, Natasha Delany here, founder and executive director of Indigenous projects and events, and the sub brand IndigiRise. And as part of the IndigiRise, we have the 16 full day life skills program that we just finished facilitating out in Swan River First Nation. And so today I have Sonya Laboucan, who is a member of the Little Red River First Nation. And she joined us during the last 3 weeks here in Swan River. So, Sonya, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me, before you started the IndigiRise Life Skills Program, how would you describe where you were at in your life?
I think when the program was posted that they were going to offer it in January, I was stuck. I was stuck in a place where I was like emotionally struggling in my relationship, in my home, and just kind of in life in general.
Mhm.
So it was really hard before starting the program.
So, you have 9 children.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us
There's
about that.
there's 7 girls and 2 boys. They range from ages 1 to 21.
1 to 21.
Yeah.
And your little 1-year-old's running around here. So if you guys hear any pitter patter, that's her little one running around. So Little Red River First Nation, how long did you live there for? What was life like?
I was back and forth to Little Red um for about 19 years. Um my mom moved us south of the reserve just before my 8th birthday to Slave Lake. And then I just kept returning back up there until my grandparents had passed away.
Mm.
And yeah, I just recently in the past year started going back up there and teaching teepee making and star blanket making.
Oh, so tell us a little bit about the teepee making and the star blanket. How long have you been doing that for?
I've been making teepees for a little over 5 years. I was taught by a wonderful woman who just passed recently. Her
Mm.
name was Betty Jackson. She was from Swan River but lived in Wabasca.
Okay.
So she had taught me a little over 5 years ago that I had taken her class. I was in the first group and I picked it up so fast and so well. She asked me to stay on for the rest of the summer to help her teach all of the other classes and everything. And then from then on, I was instructing and teaching. I ran several classes in Swan River. I think over the past 5 years, we've made close to about 500 TVs.
Wow. So Swan River, that's where you took this program.
I
How
did.
long have you been in Swan River?
Going on 11 years.
Hmm. And
I resided there.
why Swan River?
Um, it was the closest to feeling like home
Mhm.
versus going up north, up to
Mhm.
Fox Lake. Um, I've been going to Swan River off and on since I was 14.
Yeah,
I met some of the people from there in Slave Lake public school system and just got really close to a lot of them and grew up with them and couldn't stay away, I guess.
so you're really a part of the Swan River community.
I am.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
had
get that. Could you try again?
that is my Siri going off. So tell us about these like log lakes. I know you guys have these different lot lakes. I haven't had a chance to actually visit the lake since we started out here, but
Swan River owns a bunch of land along the beach
mhm.
and they have it set up so the members can go out and claim, I think it's like 100 by 100 feet
Yeah,
out of, and they just build their lots on that.
beautiful,
And they just recently, in the past 2 years, got power out there. And this summer they're gonna have water out there. So
amazing.
all yeah, families have their lots or individuals have made their lots and everything, and it's all along the beach.
How many members do you think there is in Swan River?
On the reserve
Yeah,
or
on
like just
reserve.
in
On reserve.
I would say that there's probably a little over 1,000
Yeah. Uh, on reserve.
on reserve.
Yeah. And so Swan River First Nation as a community has gone through quite a bit in the last couple years.
Yeah. There's been suicides and drug overdoses, and there's been a lot of death. There's been I don't know, a lot of tragedy, murders.
Mhm.
It's I think with Swan River is struggling with a lot. What a lot of reserves are struggling, and that's the addiction.
Yeah.
And because we're surrounded by 5 other reserves and then towns, like, it's accessible.
Yeah. And so I know that during class, so we had about 30 who originally joined. We did back-to-back sessions. We did sessions from 9 to 3. So we had our daytime students, and then we had our evening students from 5 to 10. And I know that during one of our sessions, you mentioned that you were a strong advocate for calling in a life skills program to the nation.
Yes, at the beginning of September, Jackie Neron and, Darian Delorme had hosted a workshop bringing in people in to do a big survey as to what they wanted to see come into the community, and they used to offer the life skills program, but it's been years since they have offered it, and I was really wanting it to return and for them to be able to bring it in so then some of the community members can partake in it and maybe obtain a new view on life and a new view on how things could be.
Amazing. So, what obviously that was what originally made you say yes to the program when they announced that
Yeah,
they were bringing us in.
it was definitely a part of it. Yeah. But so I wanted to see what could be done differently
Mhm.
and what I could be doing with my kids or teaching my kids that is different from how I've been doing it because it's always good to learn something and something new. And going into every workshop, you should be going in with an open mind and an open heart because you never know what you can get out of it.
Yeah. I'm really happy that Sonya was able to join us today. It's a Friday, first of all, and I know she was up all night making ribbon skirts for some sisters that were also in the program.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be having their graduation, and so I'm still kind of shocked that she showed up. And so, in true Indigenous fashion, we do have the little children in the background. So, what surprised you most about the program once you started it?
And how comfortable the classes were. You know, like you get a lot of different dynamics, or you could have cliquies people in the programs, but it wasn't like that. Like it was a very good class, and you guys were really easy to listen to and to work with and to joke around with because
Mhm.
that was huge. A lot of laughter throughout the course, and uh,
Yeah, because there was a lot of deep and serious topics that we were talking about.
yeah, and I think I did a lot of sharing.
You did do a lot of sharing.
um,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was nice to get some of the women out, even like the one guy that we had in there. Poor guy was surrounded, but like at least
And he was a young guy
yeah, he
too.
was a young guy.
He just graduated last year.
So it was really good to see the different dynamics of people in there that could come in and feel comfortable talking and being able to share. And I think the fact that they knew everybody in the class helped a lot with that too.
Yeah.
And it was really good. And yeah, we got really deep at times.
Yeah. So, what was one moment, lesson, or conversation that really shifted something for you internally? I know that you joked around, and because you said you would go home, and your children would say that you had joined a cult.
Yeah, I woke up the kids one morning and I was thanking the creator for all of my blessings that morning. And I walked in there and I was like, "Good morning, my beautiful blessings. It's time to wake up and greet the day." And my daughter was like, "You sound like you're in a cult. Get out of my room." I was like, "Oh, wow." But we had joked around in class about that too and about it.
Yeah.
And it's just all about the mindset.
She had me Googling, am I starting a cult?
Oh, it was really good. Yeah, it was a really good joke. But for real, like it's just all about the mindset and retraining your brain and being able to go in with an open mindset and naturally being thankful and looking at everything that you are blessed with and appreciate.
Yeah. The one thing, because this is very similar to what our program that's coming up, and it's the IndigiRise Business Accelerator, which is going to be a rebrand of the Diamonds Mastermind program that I was running for Indigenous women entrepreneurs. And a lot of the students had mentioned that they've done a lot of research or their own reading and talking about manifestation and mindset, and that just not really being able to quite get it until they took the business program, which is very similar to the IndigiRise Life Skills Program. So to be able to have that like process where we started with the identity and then we talked about, or no, the attitude, and then we talked about identity, which moved into stories, and then the freedom.
Yeah.
And in that way, you're able to, well, the students are able to learn more of a easier, softer way to understanding how manifestation actually works.
Yeah, well, it's the tools that you guys provided, right? It's the pausing and the thinking and just like rethinking what you were first thinking and just kind of like
To just
taking a moment.
noticing the thoughts,
Yeah.
right? Just noticing the thoughts in the first place. Because I think, like, when I first took a similar program, nobody had ever asked me or said, like, what are you thinking? Like, I guess I was asked, like, what are you thinking? But I never really thought about what I was thinking.
Mm. And I think a lot of like society has us trained to go right for the negative.
Yeah.
Think the negative. You can't do this. You can't afford this. You can't take part in that. And then once you start changing that mindset, things just kind of come to you.
Yeah. As soon as you start asking, like, is this true? Is this thought true?
Yeah.
Changes everything.
Or like thinking, is that the story you're telling yourself? You know, that was really stopped when it was, you know, repeated. That's the story you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's just what you're telling yourself. And it's like for real though, like when you're just sitting there constantly telling yourself that you're broke or that you're not able to do that or that you can't afford that or you can't do this, you can't do that. That's ultimately what it is.
Yeah. And that becomes your identity.
Yeah.
And who you believe yourself to be.
Is it whether you're right?
Oh, yeah. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah. And that stuck. That really stuck.
Mhm. Awesome. So, how has the program impacted how you see yourself and or your story?
Well, there
yeah,
were a
bring
lot
that
of
chair.
arguments going on at home and stuff. And then once I started the program and I started pausing and thinking about things and I was able to prevent a lot of situations. I was able to prevent a lot of arguments and everything with the mindset and thinking. We're just stopping and thinking about what I'm gonna say instead of feeding into the negatives.
Yeah. So, you're on TV. You're on TV. So, have you noticed any changes in your daily life? I know you just mentioned the being able to pause and think.
Yeah.
before automatically reacting in some of these arguments that were happening on a consistent basis, with your children, with your partner?
Yeah, with both, definitely with both. And like the kids outnumber me, so it was really huge to be able to just stop and talk to them or come down to their level and find out what was really the matter.
So, what did it feel like being in a room with other Indigenous community members doing this same kind of work with you?
It was really good because a lot of them were friends,
Yeah.
or like the one male that we had in there was like one of the kids that I had transported back and forth to school in Slave Lake.
Oh, you
Because that's
transported them back
I
to
did
school. Oh.
his older sister as well. I transported her. There was a few kids in the community that would travel with me back and forth and stuff, so I knew him very well.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the other women in the class were all friends. So
Hmm.
it was really good being in that kind of atmosphere, and actually even just being around adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm usually just with kids all the time.
So, if you were to explain IndigiRise to someone that you care about, how would you describe it in your own words?
I would tell them that it started out as just retraining your brain and manifesting, and it talked about your finances, and it just kind of dealt with like how you spoke to yourself, and a lot of people are really hard on themselves, and it gave you a different view on how to look at yourself.
Hmm.
And instead of always just kind of tearing one another down, start bringing one another up, as well as yourself and the people around you,
Yeah.
or even taking a view at your upbringing
Hmm.
and what you were taught and why you think the way you do.
Yeah.
So it's oh, get really in depth with some people because there's just too much negativity in this world.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the lessons that we do in the IndigiRise program is overcoming lateral violence, which really ties into a lot of like for us Indigenous people, we talk about the stories that we inherited. And so for a lot of Munya people, um, settlers, I guess, they they come with their own stories. But for us as an Indigenous people, we have an additional story. And that's what the one that comes as part of racism, as part of stereotyping who we are as a collective people. And so to be able to learn that those are actually not our stories
Yeah,
is a powerful moment, I think, in the classroom.
I think so. Yeah, because then everyone just kind of like really looks and acknowledges and sees it.
Mhm.
So, and that's really huge.
Throughout. And I know that there was some parts of Corey's story that you were able to resonate with, and there were some parts of my story that you were able to resonate with. My goal for IndigiRise is to be able to hire other Indigenous facilitators, because there is getting to be a lot more interest with First Nations across Canada.
Mhm.
And so to be able to find more Indigenous facilitators that have that lived experience, like I really just feel like for a course like this, it's the lived
Yeah,
experience that needs to be a number one priority.
absolutely. I agree. And that was one of the big things, like being able to come into that program and not being taught by someone who learned from a textbook,
Yeah.
someone who's actually lived and struggled and been where a lot of us are.
Um,
And to be able to move forward or move past or to deal with a lot of those underlying issues and seeing that there can be success at the end,
yeah.
and seeing someone who has succeeded and who is thriving.
Mhm.
And like we get to see that firsthand between you and Corey. Because like we did hear a lot of your guys' stories